Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Russian Garage. Today we're continuing to work on our 2019 Ram. So this episode we are going to be, as you can see behind us, we're going to do a couple of custom touches to this truck. We're going to do the flares that you guys already saw us paint. They're going to have some pocket rivets that are chrome. That's going to go along with the rest of the chrome on there. We are getting some true 35-inch tires on there. We decided to go with the Nitto Terra Grapplers G2s. Best bang for the buck. Is a little expensive, but we had to go with a decent tire on there. Also, this truck came with a set of 18s. Aluminum just doesn't cut it. Decided to go with some nice chrome 20-inch rims. They are American Racing XD series. I think these are going to look real nice. They have a little bit of good offset to it where they're going to stick out, but not too much. They're going to come just perfectly flush with these flares. And now the last part, this lift kit. We decided to go with Rough Country. We bought this. Wasn't too expensive, again, but it was alright. It's a 3.5-inch lift. The kicker is that it's for a four-wheel drive truck. We kind of compared them, and I think it's going to work. Even though we called Rough Country, they said it's not going to work, but we're going to find out. We decided to take a chance and just see what happens. And if it does work, it'll be good information for you guys that have the two-wheel drive trucks. If you want to go anything bigger than a leveling kit, you guys will know that it works, or you'll know that it doesn't work. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to load these tires and rims into our trusty old minivan and head down to our tire shop so we can get these mounted and balanced. Alright guys, we're actually back the next day. We didn't have time to get to the tire shop, but we got all of our tires off that were on the truck. The reason we got them off is because we need the sensors out of them to put into the new wheel set. We got everything loaded up in the van. Man, love this thing. I don't know if we would have been able to fit this many tires into a regular truck, but this thing, we got everything in there. We got some new valve stems for the sensors. And the best part, it closes too. So let's go ahead and take them to the tire shop so they can get those sensors out, mount and balance the new tires, and we can get them on the truck. Alright guys, so we're back from the tire shop. We got our tires and wheels mounted, balanced. Get the stock ones out of here. The tires we just left there because they were no good. As you guys remember from the first series, they're all mismatched, they're chopped, they're just garbage. So we left those for them. Man, these suckers are heavy. But check those out. I think those are going to look amazing on this truck. Let's actually throw it on there. Because right now we got the wheels, the suspension is extended down, so I'm thinking it's going to be about where it's going to ride. So let's see how these fit. Alright man, these guys, they're going to look good. I mean, it's going to really set this truck off with it being a little bit lifted. And we got one of our flares. So let's take a look how this is going to fit on here with the tire. Because right now you can see the tires are sticking out a little bit past, but we've got these flares. I think that's just going to be perfect. So, last test. I'm going to try turning this wheel and see if it's going to hit anything. Alright, let's see. I don't think it's going to hit here anywhere. Nope, that's all the way right there. We're not hitting anything. So as long as the wheel is going to be at this height, let's try the other way. I think we got just enough clearance. So as long as the wheel is going to stay at this height, because again, it's lifted, the suspension is extended, but it's a factory suspension. We're going to be doing a 3.5-inch lift on it. So we'll see, but I have a good feeling it's going to work. Alright guys, now that we've test fitted our wheels, let's open up this lift kit and see what we got in it. It is a 3.5-inch lift. Oh, that's some pretty packaging. Alright, stickers. Got some bump stops. This kit does come with new upper control arms because those aren't long enough, so we get that clearance on them. Another nice thing, I just popped this cap off. These ball joints are greasable, so that's a big plus too. Okay, and from what I understand, these are going to be to preload the spring for the front. And this is actually what's going to so this and this combination of these two is going to give us our 3.5-inch lift. The other reason why we went with this lift, well, one, to get the clearance hopefully for our big tires, and two, since our rear shocks, they were damaged from the auction when the forklift operator was grabbing them. These come with new shocks, so we don't. It comes with the kit, so we get that taken care of right away too. And this right here is basically what's going to give us the lift in the rear. So that goes on top, and we'll figure it out. I believe it's just these two screwed together like that, so it stays in place, and we reuse the factory springs. So we're going to start off with the front, as I think that's going to be the more difficult one. So let's go ahead and start removing this shock, control arm, basically everything that we got to remove to get out and put this stuff in there. Alright guys, so I got this driver's side suspension taken apart. Got a bungee here supporting this so there's not too much pressure on the hose. But here's what we had to remove. I got the shock removed and I got the upper control arm removed. This is what it's going to be being replaced with. And then for this shock, we are basically, according to the directions, we got to compress this spring, which we're going to be using this style of spring compressor that we have for freight. To compress the spring, we're going to have to take this hat off, put this in here between the hat and this rubber insulator, put everything back together, and then this is going to go on there. Alright guys, so what I did was, so that when we assemble this and everything goes back to where it needs to be, I put a mark here in the middle, one there, one on the spring, one on this hat, or the spacer. Basically I put marks everywhere so that way I can line them all back up, and when I put it together, it's going to be exactly like I took it off, except it's going to have that spacer in there. So let's go ahead and get... Okay. Alright, so we got our spacer, preload spacer in there. We got that top nut on there, not all the way, but it's on there pretty good. We got all of our marks lined up, so we're going to go ahead and tighten that and release this coil. Alright guys, so we got our suspension put back together. We got that preloaded spacer, and then the other spacer there, everything lines up perfectly. We got our new upper control arm hooked up to the spindle. Basically got everything connected except for the sway bar link, because the directions say to do the exact same thing, get everything installed on the other side, and once the other side's installed, then we'll be able to get this lowered so we can bolt it back up. Alright, so we're going to get the other side, and we'll come back to it, and we'll see how the wheels fit on there. Alright, so in the back, we are replacing this shock, and there's going to be a spacer that's going to go between the spring and the frame. And in order to get this out, we have to undo the shock, undo the stabilizer link, and then we got our T-stand here. That's going to allow us to lower this under control. We can lower it, get the spring out, do what we need to do, and then push everything back up and button it up. So the back, we got this spacer here. We got this little plate here that actually fits into the groove up here. So we're going to go ahead and install this. for the spring, the only place that has actual spot is the top rubber mount. The bottom doesn't even have a stopper or anything else like that, so it doesn't matter on where or how this sits. Alright, so this used to confuse us at first too, but so you got to put this washer and then the rounded area part down. We're going to go ahead and put it through that hole, and then the top one is going to go from reverse, and then the next washer is going to go on top. So this is going to go like that. We'll have this washer, and then we'll have our nut. Alright guys, so the lift is all done. Now we got the fender liners in. Now it's time to get these flares on here. We got one prepped already. We got this rubber seal here so it doesn't rub or squeak against the fender itself or the quarter panel. We got the screws in there. So let's go ahead and test this up. And this is actually on double-sided tape. I started one edge just in case if we do have to adjust it, we can. Once it's on there and everything looks good, we'll pull this out and push it to there so it sticks. On these flares, they actually use the fender liner has little metal clips. Here's the old one. Has these metal clips in there. And these use all the factory mounting points. So we're going to just go ahead and use all these, and it'll be nice and secure on there. So we got this flare installed in there. Looks awesome. I'm really happy that we decided these. It really changes the look of the truck. And then once we get those rims on there, set the truck down, I just can't wait to see what the overall picture looks like. Alright guys, so we got our flares, wheels on there, lift kit on there. Now it's the moment of truth. You gotta let it sit and turn these wheels and see if they're gonna hit or not. But the other biggest thing is the lift kit that we bought was for only 4-wheel drive, and it fit perfectly on this 2-wheel drive. Man, it's a lot higher. You're going to need some running boards. Those are actually coming a little bit later this week. So, as we saw, it cleared everything. The only place that it was a little bit close is right here. But there's some clips that need to go in here anyway. We didn't want to put them in just in case we needed to trim that. Take it out on the road and see how it feels. Alright guys, so it is rubbing on this part right here, so we're gonna go ahead and just trim that out. So we got that trimmed. Let's try it again. If it's touching this, then we'll probably have to cut off that little bracket there, but it's not really doing anything anyway. Alright, our traction control light went off. All the lights have gone off except for the check engine, and all we can do is scan it. We can't delete them, so we may have to go to the dealer to have them clear the codes. Alright guys, the truck drives great. Still, it like barely on a bump when the wheels are turned, it grabs this little bracket. No big deal. We'll just take a hammer and we'll straighten it out so it's up underneath this, and we won't have that problem, I'm sure. Really happy with the fact that the 2-wheel drive versions there are no lift kits except for a leveling kit, which is just a small spacer for the front shocks. We bought the 3.5-inch lift for the 4-wheel drive. We took our chances and it worked, and super happy with that. Super happy with how these wheels are looking, the flares, just all together. This truck is really coming together. And if some of you guys that have the 2-wheel drive and do want to have a lift kit, we are going to put the numbers and description of the lift kit that we use. So if you want to do that, you'll know that it'll work. We're done for today. So we're going to come back in the morning. We're still waiting on those running boards. Hopefully those will come in real soon. And we're going to wash it while we're waiting for the running boards. And we'll do the interior, the exterior, we'll get everything all ready. And that way, once we get those running boards and a couple other little miscellaneous pieces, the truck will be 100% and ready to go. Alright, so we got the last piece of our puzzle. We got the running boards in. So let's open them up and see what we got. Alright, so this is the running boards that we decided to go with. They didn't have any chrome, so we decided to just go with the aluminum, which I think should still go good with our overall look and theme. They're pretty nice, all one piece, no caps or anything for things to fall off. And they're aluminum, so they're not going to rust, and I think those should work pretty well. Alright guys, so we got the truck securely up on the lift. Just looked at the instructions. Should be pretty straightforward install. So we got these brackets here. There's no lefts or rights, they're universal. And they are just going to go onto these studs. Use the supplied hardware, and then we'll put the running boards on there, line everything up, and then tighten everything up. So let's get that done. Alright, so I got these running boards all installed. Let's test them out. Now I won't have to jump in and out of the truck because, you know, short people problems. Does look pretty good. Step is comfortable, they're nice and sturdy. Alright, I think those are going to do the job. They look good, they go along with the chrome rims, the chrome mirrors, the handles, all the chrome accents. So it should be good to go. Alright guys, so we are finally 100% done with this Ram. It turned out awesome. I'm really super happy with just everything, the overall theme, the vision that we had for this truck, everything came together. First off, I want to start with the fact that this lift kit is for a 4-wheel drive. It works on a 2-wheel drive. That's amazing. Basically, without that lift kit, we would have not been able to put these true 35-inch tires in there. Rims really look good on this. They've matched the theme. Super happy with it, and it doesn't hit anywhere. The only place that we had to do was trim this fender liner a little bit, but that's about it. Now at any point where the steering wheel is, don't got any scraping, rubbing, it's not touching anything, it's 100% just like it should be. Well, this side, it was pretty much untouched. The only thing we painted here was this fender, and it was only because this headlight made a couple of chips. We wanted 100%, that's why we painted the fender. The rest of it is factory. Those running boards are looking really good on here, and now I don't have to jump in and out of the truck. I can just step in there. Also, it cleaned up. I mean, it's 3,000 miles on it. It was just dusty, but it cleaned up. Everything's brand new, just like it should. Everything's nice and clean in the back. It smells, I mean, again, like when we first got it, it just smells like leather. I mean, because they do actually use genuine leather in these new ones. So we got the wheels in the back. They fit, they don't churn, so we haven't got any issues there. I like that. The previous Ram didn't have the shocks in it or anything like that, so that's nice that it just opens up like that. Bed's brand new. I don't think there's ever been anything in it. And now we got this side, and we'll put up a picture just in case you guys didn't see the first episode of what this looked like. This truck actually fell over on its side, and the whole side from front to back was damaged. So here's a picture. Yeah, because we bought this truck sight unseen. We only looked at the pictures. There's 10 pictures. That's it. And we looked at the pictures. It was coming out of Miami. We didn't want to drive down there, so we just bought it off the pictures. But basically, this is what it is. And we replaced the skin, the flares. We obviously added those. Those are aftermarket. We replaced this door, both doors. This cab corner was crushed in here, crushed in here. We actually repaired all that stuff. And even these little areas here, they were not the correct shape. Repaired everything. Everything turned out real good. I mean, you can't tell. Everything works. The seats are amazing. I've been driving around for a couple of days since we got it up and running. The cooled seats here in Florida are awesome. I mean, they really help out with cooling you down from this 100-degree weather. But then on top of that, it's also has the on top of the cooled seats, it has heated seats, and even the steering wheel is heated for those harsh Florida winters. The backup camera, I still can't get enough. It's by far, out of all the cars that I've had, it's high definition backup camera, which is a must on a truck. So also replaced the fender, these little things, the front bumper, the grille is original, this headlight's all original. Alright, so now for the most interesting part on how much we bought this Ram for, how much the parts cost, and what it cost us total to get this Ram from being wrecked to the way it is. We actually bought this Ram, I think, super cheap. We won it for $12,200, which I think, I mean, it's a $40,000 truck. We got it for $12,200. Plus the auction fees, it came out to $13,030. All these prices are just rounded out. They're not exact. But then the delivery out of Miami cost us $200. Now the front door, we bought the whole shell. From the all these parts were all from the dealer, with the exception of a few parts that we got offline. So the front door was $466. The rear door was $482. The front bumper was $302. The curtain airbags that we got from the dealer, there's 2 of them. They're $176 a piece, so it comes out to $352. The seat airbags, we actually got that from a surplus junkyard. We got those at $125 each plus shipping. It came out to $285. The one headlight, that was kind of spendy. We did get that off online. That was $415. At the dealer, it was $100 more. This one was in perfect condition, so we save $100. Might as well. The door handles, those actually came pre-painted. They were only the front one was $92. The back one was like $70 or something like that. And then the little end caps were only $5 a piece, and they're also pre-painted. So I think that's a pretty good price on that. The fender, this was $86 from the dealer, which is a phenomenal price because on the previous Ram, we actually paid a little over $200 for the parking brake. On the back wheel, the electronic parking brake, that got damaged by the forklift. That was $95. The mirror, we actually got that off online also. It was $150. Again, it was great condition. saved a good amount of money on there. So we got that used. The glass for the front door, that was $228. The seat belts themselves, they were both 2-stage. Actually, the driver's side is 3-stage, but to get those reset and operational 100%, that cost us $227. The bed skin was $272, and then miscellaneous brackets, little grills, basically all the miscellaneous stuff. This thing right here, that was another $670 from the dealer. Now, the aftermarket custom stuff that we decided to do on this truck, the lift kit was $477. The rims, the wheels, were $870. The tires, they were a little spendy, but worth it. They're not loud. They're super quiet, they're soft, and they just look amazing. Those were $1,160. Also, we had to buy new lug nuts because the factory ones would not fit in these rims. Those were another $41, and then mountain balance was $100. And then the flares, we did those were $265. So, just in parts, that brings us to $7,300 that we spent on this truck to get it this way. And if you're wondering, just the wheels and tires, basically the wheels, the tires, mountain balance, and the lug nuts, that came out to $2,200 if just the rims without the lift kit. All right, so that brings us to a grand total of $20,500 that this truck cost us. Again, we did all the work ourselves. It was a ton of work. And again, we're estimating we charge about $65 an hour, so I think it's a pretty fair price. The paint, we estimated at $1,800. The metal work with the filler work, basically the frame, corner, and then putting the filler work on the cab corner and the A-pillar, that's going to be $2,600 that we're estimating. And then reassembly, lift kit, running boards, basically to get everything put all back together to bring it to this point, that's another $2,000. And so our work, if we're estimating if someone like brought us this exact same truck, it'd be $6,400. So if you can't do the work yourself, it's probably going to be between $6,000 and some shops probably even charge upwards of $10,000 for the same amount of work. All these prices that we did give you guys, those are our prices with our accounts that we have set up. Most of them are around 30% discount, and on top of that, there is no sales tax since we do have a dealer's license and we're exempt from it. So the grand total, if including the work and everything else like that, it's coming out to $27,000. Even if you can't do the work yourself, under 30 grand for a brand new truck, not even a year old, already lifted, custom wheels, tires, all that stuff done, I don't think it's that bad. There's not too many on the market that I was able to find that are already lifted and got tires and everything else like that, but I did find a couple. They're around 50 grand with the same mileage, same options and everything, because this is the Laramie edition. We are going to be listing it for $35,000, which is a great savings for somebody. Basically, the difference between a clean and a rebuilt title. This one was done 100%, so it's a brand new truck. And also, if you got one of these brand new trucks and you like our lift, the wheels, tires, setup, all that kind of stuff, we're gonna put it down in the description below with the part numbers and basically the lift, everything that we use for the aftermarket stuff, the flares, and that way you guys can know if you're like that you can do that to your own truck. Alright guys, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you don't miss our next future builds. If you're already subscribed, thank you. Also, we are going to be looking for another build to do. You guys leave us a comment below. Let us know what you'd like to see. Just reasonable stuff, nothing like high-end exotic, but reasonable stuff, kind of like this Ram, car, it doesn't matter what it is. Alright, so that's it. This one's 100%. It's ready to go. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next build.